Welcome back to Factorio, the Nullius mod and the October-November community map. So I was building my Stirling engines here and I have now got all the Stirling engines and geothermal plants built. So there's 120 of those, each providing 800 kilowatts, so that is a lot of power. In fact, potentially it could provide me almost all my power, and that's not counting wind power. So definitely lots of room for expansion there, since currently all these wind turbines I built expanding out, they're actually providing all the power almost all the time because they are still very volatile. But as you can see here, if I find the Stirling engine, so the engine's only coming on for like little peaks there as the wind really drops down occasionally. But I'm sure as I expand out, they'll be used more and more. Now, one thing I'm doing for today is actually get started on the modules and the beacons. So I have had some for quite a long time, just the basic beacon and a collection of modules. I just really haven't got around to using them, and I think I probably should. Especially the yield module and the speed module. Now, just showing the haste module and the speed module seems to be the speed module gets a little bit less speed, but it doesn't have that massive energy consumption bonus on it. Because at plus 25%, you put a bunch of those beacons down, that's going to add up quite quickly. Yield module, a little bit less speed, a little bit more energy consumption, but the productivity means over the entire production chain, less resources, less ore, and so forth. And possibly even in some cases less power. By the time you've accounted for less downstream stuff, you could actually even save power, even though these have an energy consumption debuff of 10% on them. Now, modules basically use circuit stuff, but since this circuit stuff here is kind of a mess anyway, and there's definitely no space there for beacons and stuff, just forget about that idea. I think I'm going to build it over here, because over here is lots of empty space. What I think I'll do is move some of these pipes over. I'm going to consolidate the pipes into, basically put them here, I think, if I can. I might have to move over a little bit because of that cliff. But basically consolidate this stuff into this gap here. And then this should leave this space here a bit more free for me to build in. Probably leave the belts for the time being. I'm just going to move those pipes that are right in the middle. So everything moved and I have some clear space. So since I haven't got beacons produced yet, I guess I can just handcraft some of them. Hopefully I'll be able to just make a few and then work out what I'm doing with them. Then what else do I need? So I think I'm going to need to do the basic electronic stuff again, so that stuff. Let's just check the recipe to see what it requires. Green wire logic circuits, arithmetic. Green wire logic memory, that's modules, that's modules. So green wire logic circuits, arithmetic and memory, so it's these things here. This requires red wire, this requires logic circuits. Logic circuits, and the rest of the stuff I can basically get off of the bus. So it looks like making logic circuits is going to be the first big thing really. So I want to leave some space with all that because I want to be able to expand them all. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do the infrastructure stuff. I did a really good job of deleting that, didn't I? How did I delete half the pipes? So I think I'll do the intermediate products here, and then I'm thinking I can come over here to make the actual modules. Work my way around the cliffs. I'm not going to destroy the cliffs here. I think these ones are mostly fine to work around. And then I've got the intermediates I can expand as needed, and the modules I can expand as I get better modules. So that seems like a good way of splitting the work up. So let's come up to here. I'm going to start from here. So basically, first beacon goes there. Can I use bigger machines for these? No, I cannot. So it's got to be a small machine. So on the corner there, let's start build 4 of those at a time, and then what would this be? 1, 2, 3 there. Then these has to go here. So now I have to work out with 2 belts worth of space what to do in between. So 4 inputs. So I'm already off to a terrible start there for easy to do stuff with modules. So basically that's my inputs, and then where's the output going to go? That's a really good start. I've got a difficult recipe already. Now I could just put beacons on one side. Putting them on one side would basically half how much potential speed boost I can give to each machine. So that's not entirely ideal, but it will give me more flexibility. So it's absolutely terrible for endgame because less machines is better, basically because of performance. But it does give me more flexibility to do, for example, this. So I might do this just because it's easier and it kind of looks nicer as well. the solutions you need for having multiple, basically getting more than one belt down there, they just look kind of messy. I don't really like the style. So I'm going to go with this in the name of elegance, basically, even though I know it's not like ideally optimal. So then that's going to come down there. It's not mean to delete that. Just try and get these belts out of the way because the bots are being slow this far away. And then you get 2 sets of inputs there. It's also worth noting, so something I learned is you can put yield on the productivity modules in basically everything, including these like placeable items. So that's somewhat different from vanilla in terms of where I can actually put them. So in terms of power, it looks like, guess I can go like, what would that be, there and there. That seems to cover everything. So that's on the belt, that's on the bus, that's on the bus. I can get aluminium rods down and make wire. I'm actually going to work out the rest of these because I think there's some inputs that are like shared, like that's going to have aluminium as well, that's going to have capacitors. Okay, only a couple of things are shared, but that's good because if I get the couple of things that are shared to actually be in a place where they can be shared, that would be really nice. So looking at the next thing I need to make, so to make that I need a memory unit. So definitely memory circuits, they're important. And I did leave enough space as well. So probably again for convenience I'll just do a half, so basically 2 belts there just so it looks nicer. Although this is a very simple one, this is actually ideal for double beacon layout. Yeah, I might just do a double beacon layout on this one. So basically looking at that, the reason why it's ideal is because you've only got 1 or 2 inputs and you've only got 1 output. So it's very simple. Actually, I guess the output's easier to have mixed belts on the output than it's on the input. But basically what I'm going to do here is take logic circuits and capacitors and put them together there. And then this becomes very, very simple like that. Then go down to the next one, so that's going to be there, and this is going to be arithmetics. So let's get those down. This time it's a little bit more complicated because it's got 3 inputs. Well, what are the crafting time? Are they all the same? 2 seconds, 6 seconds to make 4, 2 seconds to make 1. Yeah, it's not really much relationship between those crafting times. I'd have to look quite hard to try and figure out what the ratio might be on those. But then that can come down there at the very least, and basically for convenience I'm thinking I'll double belt it on that side. So probably like that with the inputs on there. Or I could take those logic circuits, put them on there, that would get 2 out the way. Now I could do this with a double row, it is possible. As long as this doesn't get in the way too much. So the reason why that's possible is I can take the, this will be just capacitors, and I can put the logic circuits on there. Now I have both things on the same belt, both things on the same belt goes there, aluminium wire can go there. But then I can just have a filter so that only the circuit that I want, which is that one, goes on. So the aluminium wire will get stuck. And I have to move around these power poles and stuff, but that does therefore fit with that quite nicely. So power pole can go, because that can go there, and then that can go there, because it doesn't matter if they're in a perfect grid, it's those that need to be where they are. Maybe I should have built this further up north to start with, but oh well. If I forgot something I can put it up there. So next up I think will be red wire. That looks like a very fast recipe, so it's probably not even worth putting beacons on both sides. Now I think I need to make some red wire and I need to have some green wire. Now what if I can do something elegant like that, or... It really depends on how much I need of each. Basically what I'm thinking though is, oops, that's going to be the input. That's going to be the red wire output, then basically that can be the green wire output. So probably looking at something like, that's going to use up a lot of inputs, probably something like that. I think it's going to need a lot of inserters. So then that will give me logic circuits, memory, arithmetic and red wire. Fortunately, it's a totally different size to those things, so it doesn't really line up here very well. That's a bit unfortunate. Guess it can go there, still fine on the beacon spacing. So I could have two like that, and I think, yeah, just doing beacons on one side will probably be more than enough for that. Maybe put an extra one there just to be sure. Might underground that. I'll see what I'll do in a second about that. So what this will do for sure though is set the recipe to aluminium wires out, lots of output and less input. So that goes there. Actually, that gives me an opportunity to do with those pipes at the bottom quite conveniently, like so. Then I think I needed one for that. I think I needed one for something else. And then that will be aluminium rods. Oh, and there is actually that one there. If I do... I can probably do that. Hopefully this is fast enough here with one inserter, but we'll have to see how that goes. So that's the plan. Lubricants over there, and I'll just grab the bits for these right now off the bus. Actually, I guess I can move that over one tile because it has to reach that. Then that can go there. And I can split off the logic circuits as I go, so like so. That's all coming down, so next up will be capacitors. Capacitors will come onto here, so if I can get them onto that line, that'll be good. Then that stuff I've got, so that's using up these. I wish I didn't just overwrite a ghost. Like, can you not just put the underground automatically past the ghost? Anyway, so that's coming down there. Needs to be on that side. Then that needs insulated wire and logic circuits, so insulated wire will come down here. So it comes down about there. So logic circuits by themselves. Maybe I should have moved those over to the right a bit, but we can do that there. So insulated wire, capacitors. Oh, then actually a couple of things I kind of forgot. So they need to go down there to have the output, but power pole can move there, should be fine. Likewise, these need to have output, so again power pole needs to go on the top side. Those should work now. Hang on, capacitors. Oh, why did it do that? Well, that's a bit of a mess. Let's see if I can clean this mess up. Hopefully I've got enough inventory storage and I can actually pick those up. A few more there, a few more there. Okay, I think that's most of that mess got rid of. So I now have memory circuits there, logic circuits there, and arithmetic circuits here. Plus green wire, so that can all come over there. Kinda want this to be separate though. It's just the nicest way of doing the beacons. That's the real reason I did that. It's kind of forced on me. And I could take the logic circuits separately from there. That's a choice. They could come across here. There is actually space there for the belt to get past. So it could be where I put the logic circuits. Now I put the memory circuits somewhere else. I think what I'll do for now is if I do that, then do logic, then do that, then I've got two separate belts. Just at the moment they're kind of coming from one place, but I could change it in the future easily enough. What I want to do though is look at the modules I've got. And I guess again I'll do probably half beacons because it's a bit cheaper and it's easier to work out the layouts. And it's just far less of a pain for triple input. Triple input with beacons is massively horrible. I just hate it because you have to do a half belt mix with output, so you have to do this all the time. Really rather just not do that. So, as such, what I'm thinking is... let's actually make sure I can miss that cliff there. I'll just put it there, then I should be perfectly safe. So, if that's there, then 4 machines, for example, can start there. Let's say we have haste on top, so I'll put haste on top. 1 set of inputs. In fact, there was some shared stuff between these, wasn't there? So that'd be a better reason to not necessarily put them next to each other. So logic circuits and green wire could, for example, go down the middle. I just still need to fit another belt though, so could be 3 sets of belts like that. So that moves down a bit, ends up with that. Which I guess I really like the beacons to be in the middle, thinking about it, because even if I'm not bothering to do the double beacon row, that's a lot of beacons, it's a lot of modules, it's a lot of power. That there is like 600 kilowatts for those modules, for those beacons without any modules, which is almost one of these Stirling engines just for, like, because I didn't want to do the layout sensibly. So let's actually just put the beacons in the middle. So beacons in the middle would go there. So you'd have belt there, there, and there. And then I guess what I could do is input, 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 and then outputs. That could be the tightest way, in fact. Do I want to come back this way? No, let's just go from left to right. So outputs over there, inputs over to the left. So it's going to be basically exactly the same layout I did before then. So short inserters like that mixed with long inserters like that. Power poles has to therefore go there. So that would tile like that. Put that one over there so I can reach that power pole there. Then I just need to figure out the inputs. So green wire and logic circuits is actually a common thing. So maybe as a common thing I could, for example, bring those together. So where is the green wire? It's down there. And logic circuits is here. So let's just assume that comes there and I bring the other thing over there. But I don't need to do that way because that way is more for increasing throughput. Like if you need lots and lots of stuff. This way I guess is less efficient in that regard, but it's simpler. Because what I'm going to do is bring the green wire in there, have just the one inserter, one splitter, and then combine them together. Maybe a bit further to the left than that. Let's do it here. So they're all going to want to cross there anyway. Then for this, that's going to come there and there. Then this one wanted memory and this one wanted arithmetic. Which is the opposite way of how I've done it. So you know what, since these are essentially the same, let's do it this way around. So arithmetic and memory. Memory is here. So that's nice and easy. But it'd be even easier if I'd done this the other way around, wouldn't it? I could still change it, so that's going that way around. Then arithmetic modules. Guess it's easiest if they like. Let's go like that. I've actually used up all my belts. What I'm actually thinking though is, yeah, if I keep that straight, at least until I have a reason not to be straight, then that comes there and that goes over there. Move that, remove that, fill in that, should be good. Then for the modules I really want, which is these two. So if I'm making those, and I guess I can spread this out more or less later on. We'll have to see, but for now, let's just do it this way. Am I just not standing in the... I think it's going to keep standing over here. Let's put another relay over there so that it's not this empty spot. So yeah, I know I'm going to need these for other things, so I'm not going to try and cram this together too much. but I do want to bring them together for these two. So basically what I think I can do is that, and I'm going to have a belt with both on either side. So then I can have another set of beacons and another set of machines either side of the beacons. So let's do, can't think of any particular reason to do one on one side or the other, so let's just do them like that. Outputs on top then. And again going to the right until I think of a reason to do something slightly different to that. So that should all work, just need to give it power and need to craft a few bits and wait for the robots to actually get over here with some resources. Looking at the modules, I think for the time being I'm going to be using the yield and the speed modules mainly, so they're the ones I'm going to have provider boxes on. So probably just one stack of each for now. Oh, and apparently I set my inserters wrong. Half of these should be short. So those are working, these are starting to work. I didn't really pay attention to the ratio, so I don't actually have a clue if 4:4 is even remotely correct. It just was a nice number to build. But first modules are done, so that's good. And what I'm actually going to do then is, if I handcrafted some of these, yeah I did over here, so if I put some speed modules in the beacons to make speed beacons, not so much just so it makes it faster, but what I can now do is I should be able to replace these ghosts. It has to be a ghost, doesn't it, because of how it works, but I can replace these with, once I actually have the request already set. So the other bit of this to try and work out, and maybe I'll do that here since I have some space over here. We'll see what the recipe is. Do you want to automate the beacons? So memory circuits, I have those. Capacitors, I have those. Iron sheets I can get off the bus, where I get on make sheets. So power pole 2. Now I've done over in the wall, but getting it over here would be a bit of a pain, so I think I'll just craft it again. So it's going to be some plastic, some iron rod and some iron wire. So I'm going to need iron, both types. Plastic, aluminium rods I've got there. But I'd be better off doing it here, because it looks like it's some similar, well, vaguely similar recipe at least. Let's put that there to give myself some like spacing on where I want to put things. So those, I've already got plastic and iron I can bring down. Logic circuits I've got here. Steel sheets, that's what I say, I clicked on totally the wrong recipe, didn't I? Let's try that again. No logic circuits now, power pole 1, aluminium rods, and so there's still stuff I've got. So for example I could do that like that. Because I don't think I'm going to need lots of these, so I don't need to make it tileable, I just need to have one machine. Throw some like the yield modules in all of these as I get the modules. So that's going to go there, then that's going to go across. So if I can get insulated wire, bring that down. And then bring the rods themselves down, not just the main material. The actually was that aluminium wire. That's what that was. So bring that down. Then going to combine that there for that. Also want this plastic here. That could be a more tricky one. Also don't need to combine it with anything in particular. Actually, if I do that there, so if that's long, it's going to go from there to there, right? So if that goes from there to there, like so, then that can go there, that goes there. Now I have plastic. And if these had some undergrounds on them, then that can come over there and come down. So I think that's the easiest way of doing that for now. So iron rod, iron wire. But I think I needed both types of... What's the other type of iron for? Oh, iron sheets on there. Fair enough. So yeah, both types of iron. Should be able to bring them down here easily enough. And in fact, maybe to accommodate that, if I move this down, let's say to there, then I can put the foundry there. Couldn't find the foundries for a moment. I do have them. So foundry there, that's going to make the actually need to get the iron rod past as well. Well, maybe that can go on that side. So, iron wire goes in there. Or it could be on... Put the iron rods on there. If I move this around very slightly, that doesn't reach, but that's fine because that does reach. In fact, if I do that, I can have myself even more space to work stuff out. So if the plastic is there, but I combine the plastic with the iron rods. Just working this out in detail right now. So I put that there, that goes there. This should work. So iron rods there, there, plastic as well, and then that goes straight across. Don't know why I built a filter there. Probably shouldn't build a filter there. So I want the iron rods and the plastic on this one. Might be easier if I do it that way, because then I can put that there. That can filter iron rod. Goes over there, does what it needs to do. Next up in terms of fresh stuff is going to be antennas. I should have my antennas before, but again it was over to the left somewhere. What's this going to need? Red wire, got that. Capacitor, got that. Aluminium, got that. Got that. I need rubber. I wonder if I should do it like here or something. If I can. Let's see what that would look like. How fast is this? 4 seconds. Well, you know, I make one beacon every 4 seconds, assuming it is one beacon. One antenna to one beacon. Yeah, every 4 seconds, not exactly bad. Probably won't be building that many, so let's do that. Because if I do it that way, then I have the aluminium there. And the red wire there. And then what I think I can do is put capacitors and rubber on there. So capacitors were here. Which means I do need to rejig this slightly, but I think I've left myself space. If I don't stand on the belt and screw things up too much. So if that goes there, then there's space for that to go there and bring those around. In fact, where is the rubber exactly? Rubber's there. We'll go up to there, which can't be side-loaded. That could work though. Just trying to think of ways to take up less space. So if I did do that, caveat B is I definitely want to have a filter here. So filter capacitors here. Then both the rubber and the capacitors go down. So they come down there. Underground that one. Underground all that. Come across there. Guess they can underground that too. And they go in there. So I have power pole 2s and antennas on one belt. Capacitors I have down here now, so I just need to do something with them, but they are available. So in fact, if I did that, then that would give me three of the things I need. Only 3. So that leaves 2 more. That leaves iron sheets and memory circuits to put onto a belt somewhere. Memory circuits are there, so got the iron plates there. So if I made iron sheets, then I can combine them. So that can work, and you can use large assemblers for these, so I can make these a lot more effective. So let me see where I want to put that exactly in terms of relation to the beacon. So the beacons are going to be 1, 2. They're going to be like that. So then that's going to go like, yeah, I think that works well enough. So beacons along there, and how many of these machines I need? So let's just build 4 of them. So that there, then at end. I guess it also depends on how much iron I need, which I haven't worked out yet. But it'll be somewhere like there. So that's going to make iron plates. Iron sheets rather, and apparently I'm terrible at actually finding stuff. So what I could maybe then do is just change that to a single filter. So one goes one way, one goes the other way. So that goes that way, and that goes that way. Lubricant, just link up with this one, so that's not too hard. Thankfully I moved all those pipes over there, so that made that a bit easier as it turned out. So that's going on there. Then can have a belt here. Like that, and I'll figure out what to do with the other one there in a second. I kind of wish I had put beacons on both sides of this now, but I've already started building it. I'll see how it works, and if I have a problem with it, I'll think about changing stuff. But for now, it's going to go like that. That's going to output there in some form. Let's see where these capacitors are right now. And it's not capacitors, it's memory circuits. Let's see where they are. I think they're going to come... That didn't reach, did it? Well, they will come in some form there, I think. Because they're over there right now, so... If I put a filter on it and said only memory units, then that can go there. Can that get across there? Yes, that can. So that comes down, comes along, comes across. And I guess I might as well just go on there, and then this can have a long one. Then these load in there. There and there. Find them some power poles. Guess I'll put the power poles like this on this side as well. Make sure everything has yield modules. I really should be knowing to do that because everything can take them. So they work, and I think actually instead of figuring out how to put a belt line along here, I could just put all the boxes here, like so. Now I don't know what stack size is, I think it's going to be quite a lot, so what I think I could do is if I did like this, so all of these are linked together now, then I just need to say if, what was it, beacons, let's search for beacon, beacons less than, let's have say, let's do 40 in the stockpile for now, so limit them to 40. And now the robot should start building out all these beacons and stuff I laid out. But I don't think about having another mod I can do the yield modules. Because the upgrade planner requires you to upgrade something, but I'm not really upgrading something here, I'm adding something. So I might have to do these more by hand. It's like this machine here might actually be too slow, that's using up mostly aluminium wire. So I've got a plan to reorganise that, so if I get rid of this, put the power pole somewhere else, put that there. Oh, I guess I need a power pole up there then. Then these robots are kind of in my way, but one thing I can do is that I can split this one. So this one can load both that way and that way. And that's going to make more aluminium wire for these. So that all looks like it is working pretty nicely for now, so that is good. I'm using up quite a lot of rubber, or is something else slowing these down? No, I'm just using up a lot of rubber right now for some reason. Possibly a shortage of input fluids again, looking at these. So these are... Well, actually, these are full anyway, so the carbon monoxide is full there. But it might be a shortage of hydrogen getting through, which could just be because this pipe was never upgraded. Lots of stuff in the tank, so that's not the issue. That's running at not full speed. So I'm going to guess it's this pipe here. I could just upgrade this pipe and that might solve that problem. And I think the same issue for CO2, so I'm going to upgrade the CO2 pipe. So it seems all this new stuff is using up quite a bit of plastic as well. Got the propane based pack stick here, using up the propane that comes out of here, but that's quite limited because this tends to get stuck on the benzene. And that's even when the rubber hasn't backed up. Obviously once the rubber's backed up, then this just doesn't work at all. And this is the chlorine based one, so it seems to not be, well, this is the original plastic recipe, so as things seem to be in Nullius, you get from least efficient to most efficient as you go through like the more advanced recipes. So as such, I'm thinking of making this. So this needs a few things I've already made before and a few completely new things. I think I'm doing it down here because there's lots of space and it looks like it's almost entirely chemicals. Like it's pretty self-contained using just pipe stuff, fluids. And it's just the plastic I need to send up, so I don't need all of this stuff for it. So down here is out of the way. So this is the new thing, so that's propane, benzene and oxygen. So that sounds like it's going to be more of this alkene synthesis, was it? Yep, this one, which makes the propane and the benzene. So more of that to get those resources. Then it was, what else was it? It was butadiene, styrene, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one. So more propane and ammonia. Ammonia is actually down here, so that's convenient. And butadiene is ethylene, so that's more from the synthesis stuff. And styrene is ethylene and benzene. So yeah, starting with a bunch more of this synthesis stuff, but this time with better better tier machines in the first place, plus modules on top of that, plus beacons on top of that. So it should be pretty productive. So I'm thinking of starting out here because I can then put pipes through here, using the windmills kind of as a guide. So that seems like plenty of space for any pipe work I need. So then if I get my... So let's go copy paste it, turn those back on, because then if I copy paste it, it comes with the modules. That's always kind of handy. Whereas if you place one down and have to add the modules separately. So I think... Then let's go with where... No, that wasn't what I wanted. Let's line up with that. So I'm going to start with lining up with that and see where this ends up. I'm not sure on these recipes just yet. So it's definitely a distillery. So one distillery. In fact, just get rid of those basic distilleries. I don't need those anymore. So this is going to be for alkene synthesis. So the problem I'm going to have is I can only really do 2 pipes with these beacons here, and then these beacons are going to come down here. I think the other problem is, yeah, the size of the machine probably doesn't line up with the beacons. Like if I do that, I think it doesn't line up with the beacons properly tiling. So maybe I have to leave a gap here. So then I can do 2 things here, 2 things here, and something has to just go out there and get out the way. So ethylene is the biggest production and probably the one that's going to be used for quite a few things right now. So let's just take that out. Then the other 2 basically just going to have like that and that. So this should be tileable, so like so. Then on the bottom, really simple I think, just going to do that, that and that. Join those up and then power poles probably go like that, since we're tiling them. Do something special for the end one there. And then what would be the tiling on that? It's, well, it's quite a lot of overlap. Oh well, it's not the end of the world having that much overlap, I suppose. So they go like that, and then that should all tile. So basically if I take this and want to do 4, something's wrong. Did I put that in the wrong place? I think I did. Yeah, and that tile's like that. So I put those 1 tile too far to the left. So they go like that. I think 4 of these will do for now, and I can expand it over there if I need to. So carbon monoxide is the big input on this. So get my mirrored chemical plant out again. Let's look at a carbon monoxide recipe. Let's take this one here. So hydrogen and carbon dioxide gives me water and carbon monoxide. So I think what they'll end up doing is, I think it's a very simple input because it's going to be the same on both sides. So that's going to be one side, and you could line it up with that machine there. Keep that looking neat, and lines up with that beacon. That's nice. Then it's going to be input there, and a similar deal for the input there. So tiling is going to be like that. Power can come down here. I have another set of beacons down here on the bottom. And then I don't know what the ratio is, so I'm just going to assume it's going to be... It was 2 to 1 before, so if I've got 4 of those, let's just build 8 of these, and then I know I'm safe. So that would be like that. Generally I found in beacons you tend to end up with like these strip designs. This seems to be the way that things work the easiest. So then that's going to be there. I wonder if I should... I'm tempted to flip these. I know I've already built it, but if I flip these I think I get a better layout. So before I actually connect the liquids, let's put that on top and that on bottom. So that will come across there, I think. And the reason for that is because I want to get from there to there. And if I do that, I can just make this end one special, and that can now go straight across. So that handles my carbon monoxide supply. And I don't know how much throughput this is. I'm going to make it like that, because I will still have surplus carbon monoxide from other things, so I want to be able to feed in the surplus some way. And that seems like a good way of doing it, as long as this pipe has enough capacity. So I guess I'll have to test that one out and see. Otherwise, what have I got here? So hydrogen can link up together, so all my hydrogen is there. Those are all different. That's obviously different, and water's different. So let's look what else I've got here. Styrene, that's ethylene and benzene, so that's actually quite common stuff. Butadiene. Oh, steam. Steam could be... What am I going to burn to get steam? Do you have choices on what to burn? For example, I could just burn off whatever the surplus is here. Have I got ethylene combustion, propane combustion, benzene combustion? So I can combust any of them in a combustion thing, should I need to. But I don't want to like constantly be... Like, it's not going to make a power plant, it's going to be a power negative. So I don't want to be burning stuff if I don't need to burn stuff. Question is, what's the ratio going to be? Let's try and eyeball it. So I want to make this. That uses some stuff. This is where it's going to be hard to eyeball. Okay, using up more propane than benzene. Then let's look at butadiene and styrene. So that's using up lots of ethylene. That's using up lots of ethylene and benzene. So that possibly means propane is the one at the moment to go with. What's this going to use? It's going to use more butadiene and more of that. Let's see what that used. Didn't pay attention to it. But that's going to use up propane. And it's using up more butadiene, which is more ethylene, which makes benzene possibly on that recipe the thing. This is going to be a challenge to balance, isn't it? I might even need a circuit condition on this. So originally I thought ethylene was going to be used a lot because ethylene is being used a lot here. But if I'm replacing this recipe entirely, then that's no longer the case. Okay, we're looking through my recipe. So this also uses up purely propane. I'm still going to bet on benzene being the issue. I might have to change this though, but I think that's going to be my issue. What I am going to do is have the ability to buffer all of them. I'm only going to make some small buffers, so small tanks, one for each, and then I can work from there. So let's work out which way around these are going. So probably that way is the best for that. Then that way for that one. Leave some space in case I need to do something here, and then that way. I guess I really should put a pump on each of these as well, shouldn't I? I should actually leave a little bit more space. Maybe even like that much space. Let's make some small pumps, because otherwise the tanks can never get full, which seems a bit wasteful. And then what needs a steam? Butadiene needs a steam, so I'm going to do that here, because if I'm burning off the excess here, that'll give me steam, and whatever gives me steam will therefore be useful for making butadiene, and it saves me piping steam around. So let's just check the recipe on that. It is a distillery, and it just uses ethylene, which is, fortunately, I think the one I sent up there, but I guess I can live with that. Don't think I need too much either, so I think what I want to do is, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's that many. Then down there. Change the recipe before I make myself do something wrong. Actually, no, I'm getting worried about like that being potentially in the way. Guess it really doesn't matter, because if that's in the way, that's the easiest thing in my game to move right now. Don't know why I put pipes there for. But solar panels and accumulators, they are easy to move. Not going to be a problem. So in terms of inputs, I guess it'll just be repeating the one I did before. So like that. I think that's in the wrong place because the robots hadn't actually moved the machine yet. So that's fine. Come put it there. Then is this one output or two? It's just one output. Well, that makes life easier. So butadiene can go off somewhere, and hydrogen can go. Actually, I don't know what I want to do with the hydrogen. Surplus hydrogen. I guess because I'm so far away from that, most likely I can get away with just directly connecting this, and it won't do anything bad. So basically if I do that, and then that goes off up to wherever the hydrogen is, I think because this pipe is so much longer that this hydrogen won't get stuck. It's only my theory, I guess I'll have to test that one to find out. Now what I need to do is try and figure out where these pipes are going to go. So that's going to be the next challenge. So potentially excess, what is this, carbon monoxide can go. Well, that works nicely. So if I put all of those there, at least that looks neat. So potentially surplus carbon monoxide, hydrogen. Then I've got surplus water. Can I get that there? Yeah, I can get that there because that can come to there. That can actually just change slightly. Surplus water goes there, nice. And hydrogen's already done. CO2 could go here easily enough as well, I think. So that comes under, goes around a corner there and goes up there. So that's CO2. Then steam. I'm going to go with benzene, at least to start with. So benzene is this one. So that's going to come across there, go into there. Have a combustion chamber, which I don't think I built yet. And which one do I want? Let's just make a combustion chamber too, just to be sure. And if I really have lots of surplus, I can always, like I said, put it through a turbine. It's just not going to be... I can't do that to make power. I'm just doing that to, well, essentially lose power. It's not going to be an energy effective way of doing anything. Ethylene can go there though, so that makes that easy. And let's look at this. Where did it go? Where's my combustion chamber? Want to have a look at it. Where is it? Ah, there it is. So combustion chamber, benzene. Oh, I need oxygen as well. And it has an output, and you can't rotate it once placed. Well, that's annoying. So I think there looks kind of neat because then that goes across there. That goes there. So I need to bring oxygen down. And what's this output? Oh, carbon dioxide, interesting. So carbon dioxide was this pipe. So if I move that there, I think the easiest way to do with that is to swap the inputs again. So apparently I'm always just going to put inputs on the wrong side. But if the steam input was there, so changing that, then this can go one tile up and it lines up nicely. Oxygen can come down, say there or something. Oops, I actually put that on top. It's hard to see these outlines sometimes. So that goes there and it goes there. So I think that's everything. So what I'm going to do is just run some bus lines along here for the fluids. So basically just some stuff like that. Go bring down some oxygen, some hydrogen and some CO2. So let's see if I can get this hydrogen out first. Let's see if I can put a... No, this is kind of in the way. I probably should move this. That's the only place I see right now. So if that goes there, I don't want to touch that pipe there though. Okay, this works. So hydrogen is there. Then for oxygen, I'm already venting loads of it, so I can quite easily just put another tank on, like say that. So that would be oxygen and then CO2. Could move that, but it'd be a bit of a pain. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just put it on the side there, and then that can come down here. So that's 3 of the things done at least. So I'll just connect those up quickly. Then another thing I had was surplus water. So surplus water, because I put it on here, go up to about here, and I need to merge in with this because this pump is keeping this particular tank full, which is where that pump's out of. Already got this here transition though to stop these running too much, so I should be able to just connect up to this pipe and make sure I have pressure. So it looks like all of those are working except that one over there. I think the power pole should go there, but they're working, and these are working. So now I can take the rest of the outputs, such as the butadiene here, and I'm going to put them on here, and I think I'm going to do the plastic itself maybe over here area. I want to be going gradually north with this layout because I do want to get the plastic up there eventually. It'd be kind of dumb to build the plastic down here. So first floor discovered while doing that, so I really want to be able to connect to the output on this tank, which is here and here. But that hydrogen, nope, that is in the way. So hydrogen needs to come over here somewhere where it's less in the way. Possibly just like here, for example, would work. So if that came there, there, and there, that would solve that problem. And now I just need to reconnect it up to reconnect it up here. So that gives me all the fluids along here once that's built up. So let's look at the. Not really sure how I want to do this. I guess I'll just do one thing at a time and maybe move it around afterwards. So if that makes 3 seconds to 5 BPA, and that needs 1 every 8 seconds, so don't need many of those at all, maybe just 1 or 2. Probably 2 because it'll be an easy layout. So let's look at what the inputs look like, because obviously they can be different combinations. So gonna fit nicely with modules on the bottom, with beacons rather, because it can do that. In fact, I think I want it to do, let's do it that way. So beacon on the bottom will be easy because the pipe layout is exactly the same as I've done many times before. But I do need to get a solid out the top, which means beacon is there and the belt is there. I guess I can underground pipe and then put the pipes above the module. Yeah, it seems to be the best way, which means this wants to be at the top. So let's just park that over there for the moment and look at other things I need. So butadiene done, styrene, and I need to actually really look up how you pronounce that. Acrylonitrile or something. The unpronounceable fluid. So that's very straightforward. And how much over near that? So that's 10 a second, and that is about 5%. Let's call it 10 and 5. So I don't need very much of that at all. I actually need more styrene, so probably 2 of those, 2, and then 4 styrene. So styrene's the biggest one. Let's just do that at the bottom so I can work it out. Well, this is going to be a very simple and kind of boring layout. So basically it's just going to be this one again. And then the undergrounds just go between those, and the modules go above them, or the beacons rather. So beacons would go, let's start there, and they come across there. Put the modules in them, do the same on top. This is a question of where do I want to build this exactly. So I guess that looks fairly neat, and since this one looks like it was the one I needed the most of, let's have 4 of those. Quite a few common fluids in the recipes, so I might be combining some of the pipes down to the bus just to keep it simpler. Might not be, I have to see how that goes, but this can then go there, and then I guess I'll do styrene over here. I'm going to have to figure out how much space to leave, and that's kind of the big question right now. Maybe that much. There should be plenty to get pipes and stuff through, but it's less efficient for beacons. Because now I've got a lot of additional beacons that kind of don't need to be there. They're just there because I left this gap. So that is the issue with, do I want to leave a gap or not? So that's ethylene and benzene. This is, so propane, benzene, ethylene, benzene. More benzene. Does it ever use benzene suddenly? Wow, I must have done a really bad job when I looked at the recipes and thought benzene was the short thing if everything uses benzene. That I was not expecting. Very interesting, but was not expecting it. Benzene is the side one there. Then it is the, what would that be, the bottom one there? I think it's this one. So that's the benzene supply for that. And then it is the, is this one here for that. So it might actually be preferable just to change which way around I did this. Still using essentially the same layout, I'm just changing out which one's the top and which one's the bottom. So benzene is there then, and that means that can go across there really easily. So that makes that part of the layout much easier. Likewise, if I just have hydrogen be the top one here for both of them, will make my life easier. And what else do I have? So, oh, hang on, it's the same recipe. Oh, I'm a complete idiot. It's the same recipe because I selected the same recipe twice. Well, I'm dumb. Let's just forget about all of that, and maybe I'll put that back how it was. Because, yep, this is surprisingly enough actually different. So, propane. And that's ethylene and benzene. And that is propane. So actually the common bit is between this and this. Also both use oxygen and they both use the same bottom inputs. I wish I had a calculator, but I can move these around with robots in the future easy enough if I need to. Make sure I put modules in them all, of course. So that makes all of those unneeded. Because these have the same layout. So that goes like that. And hopefully I didn't find a new way to do that wrong, but hopefully I didn't. So this can actually go, yep, back how it was. Not that I don't need benzene at all, so I'm still going to have benzene there, and then that will probably go down to the bus. Ethylene is not used for anything else here though, so actually ethylene is used a lot less than I thought it was, so benzene might be the issue. And propane on that, so this one's propane here. Well, if I can go in the middle, that would be kind of tidy. I might change this when I get to figuring out where the junctions on there go, but as a basic concept at least. So I've got another wastewater output, got another carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide output. Hopefully once this is running, these carbon dioxides they won't be full all the time, and I'll be able to shunt the carbon dioxide into that. Wastewater can just go straight over there somewhere. Hydrogen, same as carbon dioxide, hopefully I can shunt it into the main pipe. And then, what does that leave me with? So, I guess these are going to go here. I did forget to build them, but I should have built them. So, they're there. What that means is, if this has a pipe like, say, actually I'm just going to pipe it individually. So basically this will pipe across there because it gives me the place to put the belt. So then that's like that, and they join together like that. At which point I might as well just put the wastewater up there as well. So wastewater and wastewater, join those together. So all the wastewater is together now, and then this can just go wherever I need it to when I come to do the actual plastic. This will be inserter and inserter. So yeah, kind of as I guessed, the way this is, I'm not going to be able to put that there for the propane. So propane's going to have to move over a tile to there where I can actually put the thing. Actually, I got that misaligned anyway. How did I misalign that so badly? So actually ethylene needs to be here anyway, so let's move the ethylene over one. Which means that needs to move over yet another one actually, because the ethylene's going to block it. So try that again, ethylene there, and then propene there. That leaves us space for oxygen though, so oxygen can go down this gap I've left. So that would be there for oxygen. Oh, except I accidentally connected that, well done me. Well, let's delete this pipe and rebuild it. So coming on to the plastic itself, see if I can put it over here somewhere. Try and keep this, oops, quite like that. Try and keep this relatively compact. Need to see how this layout's going to go. Okay, so nothing on the top. That's actually easy because there's nothing on the top. Then that can just be a belt, which can be input and output. Basically, what I'll do is bring that across, but do something like that so it's on the opposite side. So I can do that. Then that there needs to be this. So this needs to come across over to here, somewhere not too in the way, like that. And that can join up. Then the bottom one is butadiene and styrene. I need to get the outputs from these. Actually, no, I built butadiene down there. What am I talking about? So styrene. So styrene is the vertical looking one. That's that one. So if that was going across like, oops, wrong type of pipe, like that, and it's down there, so can just bring that up there. I'm probably going to run into problems. Oh no, I did get that right. I was about to say I'm probably about to hit the beacon, but I got that perfect. So that goes across there. So on the top it's going to be like that, so lots of in and out inserters. Then I just need to deal with the butadiene there, which is going to come down there. So that's how it's going to go from place to place. And I guess what I'll do is I have no idea how many of these I actually want. Let's go with, I want quite a bit of plastic, 8 maybe. Should have installed a tool so I could do the calculations easily. Oh well. I'll see what this does and I can adjust it if it's completely and utterly out of whack with reality. But 8 seems reasonable. Because these are only 8 seconds, so it's 8 seconds. Let's do it based on this. Nope, I don't want to do it based on that. That's a horrible number. So it's going to be 10 divided by 3, so it's about 3 per second. Which should be more than 8 of those. Wow, these use up very little of that. Well, I'll see how this works. It could be right, it could be completely and utterly wrong. So plastic is starting, so I'm going to put a filter there, filter to plastic, just so my BPA doesn't go all the way up there. Looking like I'm going to get a lot of plastic. I even need to upgrade this belt actually. So, I'm not sure I want to upgrade all the belts though, so I'm going to side load it there. So, we'll just use a regular belt going up, and it needs to go up to here. So, about there looks good actually. If I come there and then I can, yeah, if I go there and come across to the left here, that looks neat enough. And then I think I want to give it priority because this plastic is better. So, I'm going to put priority on there, give it priority over the old plastic setup. And probably not right now, but probably in the future upgrade this rubber as well. So I need to expand that a bit maybe, although I'm probably getting loads of that as well. Yeah, that pipe's already completely full. Well, it looks like rubber does use up a bit more than plastic does, but not by much. Also uses butadiene and solvent. Solvent would be the new thing. Well, that's not exactly special. Methanol is, I had to make the methanol, but I've done that before. Carbon monoxide, oxygen, nothing special there. So I could do rubber here as well. Yep, looks like I got that wrong. Benzene is not the issue, because actually it seems like quite a few stuff uses it, plus burning it use up quite a bit per cycle compared to how much you get. Like, you're getting like 3 and I'm burning 8 per cycle. So maybe I should stop burning benzene and switch to... Could even ethylene be the one I get the most of right now? Really don't know. That's a really complicated one. I could make it circuit controlled. This could be the way of doing it. So if I link those up, then I can put a condition on flushing it, basically. Let me see what that would be on the condition. I guess it'd be if... I guess there's 2 conditions actually. Okay, so let's forget about... Well, I do want that, but let's forget about that precise one for the moment. So we're going to have that. And basically I guess I'd have 3 of these in some form. And I want to use the one that has... That's the most full, or do I just wait until I have an overflow of something? That seems like a good solution. So, relief valve. If we're not filled up with whatever it is, we're not going to... Where's the other output on that? So, that should be changed over to that, and I can put the relief valve there. And then yeah, the idea would be don't burn something unless it is full and the relief valve has let it through. So that's going to be the starting condition. Well, that makes it a bit easier because then you can connect those and they connect. So this is the 3 gases coming in that I need to worry about. So for the purpose of burning steam to make butadiene, any overflow is good enough. Try and work out how I want to connect those. I think I want to connect them that way. Actually, no, I do want to keep these separate because otherwise I have no way of controlling what steam I use for venting. I feel like late at night I've made my life complicated. I probably think of a much better solution in the morning, but for the time being, nope, don't want that heat exchanger. I want to do that. For the moment, this is what I'm thinking. So, if I have... Let's actually do it this way around. Just trying to find a way of making this compact. That's probably not the way, but I have to see about it. So, for example, benzene comes down there. Then, I guess let's bring these over together so it's neater. So that one's there, and then, oh, that doesn't reach. Well, we'll go from there, go up to there, then I'll go up to there. So actually, that is actually the right way around compared to where these are. That makes that way more convenient. So then that's there, and then oxygen should be easy. Have oxygen there. CO2 should be easy because that's just a dump, so gonna dump. Don't feel like I've actually made this anywhere near as compact as I should have. Let's try a different way. Back to mirroring it again. Does that help me? No, because of that there. So if I offset these by just 1 tile, Then oxygen will be like that. And CO2 can go there. So at least that makes that input and output a little bit simpler. Then I need steam there, so let's just move that down one more tile just so I can figure stuff out. So all the possible steams come together there. Okay, so that's just burning everything that overflows right now. Problem is you end up with everything overflowing eventually. Okay, so I found out what to do then, so that's going to be conditional on that, but then I bring that over there, then put a trying to think. So that's up to 10,000, so I could do, instead of 75%, let's do like 95%, that's 9,500. If I get a pump say, do I have a small pump actually? No, whatever, I'll put that pump there, it's the one I have. So that comes down there, so I'm going to save everything, which will be all fluid liquids, is greater than 9,500. Then I want to disable it actually, so it's an inverse. Okay, logic circuit. So move that over to there, so if everything is over 9,500 we're going to send that red signal. We're then going to work around Factorio's round to zero bug by having a constant combinator, and that's going to set the three things I actually care about to a number that's greater than 0, such as 1. Right, that fixed that, so it's not outputting red anymore because we've not got everything filled up. So once everything's filled up, that will then stop. This can then go on here, and the enable condition is that red equal to 0. So this will stop as soon as I have all the stuff filled up, and then I can have, say, a standard turbine on there, and I can just feed that into the standard turbines for power. Which is when I wish I had priority turbines, because what I suspect is going to happen is these do nothing. Which is kind of unfortunate, so fallback of the fallback is going to have to be a chimney. I'll just vent the steam. Carbon dioxide from that can loop back into those, and that should hopefully work. Might actually need more than one vent even. Let's build a couple more vents. Well, multiple vents later because it looks like there's quite a lot of imbalance right now actually. But I have got the plastic backed up, which means the plastic is working and something else is broken. Oh, this is something I was intending to fix eventually anyway. I'm feeling lazy to finish off, so let's go plan it out a little bit down here. So basically I want to not do that, I want to do, where's that mineral dust recipe? There, so I can do slag reprocessing to get sand and mineral dust, then I can get mineral dust as well by itself, and I can also do that with yield, so I might as well. So, the problem here is that as this kind of runs down, ends up not getting gravel, and if there's no gravel then everything ends up not working. So let's make it use gravel from here. So it's going to be I'm going to use more fresh gravel, and I'm going to produce the sand as well separately. So actually I need 2 of these, one for mineral dust, one for sand. So 2 like that. So I'm going to bring those over there. Do that like that. So basically I'm going to separate the outputs on this one. And let's just put that, so that's probably fine there. What I'm going to do is delete that. So hopefully the sand ends up on the correct side of that. I always forget when it's like that. Let's find an example. No, it inserts on the left. You can see that inserts on the left. Well, that's fine. So I can bring that around like that. Then go do that. So basically when I looked at this recipe and the slag reprocessing, this uses up more mineral dust than sand. So, this way round. Sand here as much as possible, then this tops it up. Then this can come down in the opposite direction. So this will now be a gravel input. Actually, no, I should leave that one alone. Never mind what I'm saying, because I might still get a little bit of gravel from there until this is completely shut down. But this here can be a gravel input instead. So output priority on the downward direction comes down there, there, then some inserters there should take care of that. So that's been a very successful day. So I got the basic modules done over here. I've got some more tech coming up for better modules, but these will do for now, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to use efficiency. I guess as I get higher tier modules with a more severe energy penalty, I'll start needing efficiency modules to kind of counteract that a bit. Because it's not like I've got gigawatts and gigawatts of power from nuclear right now, so I could end up being a bit power constrained. So then once I got those modules, I made this and I made this to suppliers. So getting the beacons and the modules started. So I'm not entirely sure on the balance here. I think this is just a hack because I haven't got the full thing set up on this, because I know the ethylene and stuff and the propane and stuff, they're used up here for other things as well, especially like rubber and stuff. So once I start doing those things, it should be more in balance. But for sure this is a very effective plastic recipe compared to the one I started with, so that's very nice to have. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do next. Maybe I'll go for the robotics 2 there, see what that requires. But that's going to be for next time, so be sure to like, subscribe and look out for that.